What's up, everyone? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick.
I'm Rin.
And we have a review for you. And if you're reading the title of this review, we are aware that it is not metal. Dave Grohl is a friend of metal, though. So we figured why not actually do a cool review of the new Foo Fighters album, Medicine at Midnight. This also came out on the 5th of February on RCA/Roswell Records. And how much do we really have to go into Foo Fighters?
The Foo Fighters is a band led by a drummer.
So, already terrible, right?
Yeah. He stopped delivering pizzas and decided, I'm going to sing and play guitar and front a band for 25 years.
Yeah, and has done a pretty good job. I mean, been around since 1994. Played in a little band called Nirvana. Nirvana. It's one of the two.
They're on the radio.
They are on the radio. And they're probably on the classic rock stations now. I know
Christ.
That pisses me off too.
God.
Anywho, this is their 10th album, and this was actually going to come out last year, but, you know, COVID, ruiner of all things, pretty much hampered that. But it's here now. Now, this is kind of a continuation of Concrete and Gold, at least in the sense that they got the same producer, Greg Kurstin. And I have to say, I think he really settled in on this one. When it came down to the production on Concrete and Gold, I liked it. It kind of felt more organic, but it was uneven.
Yeah, each song kind of sounded like almost its own thing.
Yeah. Unique, sound in terms of the production, but I mean, I kind of like something consistent, so, I don't like, oh God, I have to turn that one down, but now I have to turn this one all the way up. Yeah. This one, I think he really settled in, and, according to Dave Grohl, the whole idea behind this one was a bit of a party album.
And there are party songs on there. There's a couple of not-so-party songs, maybe towards the end of the party, or
parties die down eventually.
People are getting punch and refreshing their beverages, and perhaps not everybody wants to dance.
But I think Dave wants you to dance, because this album has such a big, kind of groove throughout it. There's a swagger. I've never actually thought about, shaking my ass to a Foo Fighters song very much in the past, but I kind of wanted to shake my ass to a good chunk of this album.
Shake your wee-wee. I'm talking tight breastises and tight festises.
Opening track, Making a Fire, is pretty much like what they do usually. It's power pop, but there is, I don't know, something different. The bass line has a little bit more swagger to it. And Taylor Hawkins, well, he's a marvelous drummer.
Jesus.
But there is different stuff he's doing. There's a weird sort of energy about it. And then you get the stuff they add in, which is not necessarily the big Foo Fighters thing. Female choir, chorus.
A lot of the female. Na, 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 na.
And it's used effectively, kind of sporadically, you get the big na-na-nas, but you also get a lot of help on the chorus, which the chorus, big hook, because, that's Dave Grohl.
Huge.
But you also get, these chorus singers backing up, and I think they really add a lot there. Some of the na-na-nas, all right, I feel like I've heard that throughout most of my childhood, which, being 80s children here, we heard a lot of stuff from our childhood on here.
Yeah, and it was welcome.
Yeah. I mean, I fondly look back at the 80s, musically pretty much across the board. It wasn't just the metal. The 80s pop was fantastic. That's when,
true.
Musicians used to write pop music. Not so much now.
Now, people classify the Foo Fighters as dad rock. We're not dads, and we like it. So it's not dad rock, it's heavy metal fucking... Right?
Kinda. It's big rock. Yeah. And you know what? There's nothing wrong. It's got power before pop. So, it kind of, it beefs up a little bit. It still flexes muscles. And this was not necessarily about all flexing muscles. There's definitely some, heavier moments. Cloud Spotter actually has, some big, riffy moments. And the song Holding Poison has a bridge where I pretty much am damn sure that Black Sabbath is still in Dave's rotation.
You might have a little fighting in the Foo Pit.
Yeah, there might be some heavy pushing, but apologies right afterwards, I'm sure.
Hey, I'm sorry.
They're nicer than
You want a Bud Light? I'll buy you a Bud Light. It's $18 here, but I'll get you one.
I almost missed the overpriced beer chose.
Yeah, they play big places that charge a lot for their Bud Lights.
I mean, where else are you going to get a $50 t-shirt?
You got to pay the union, boys. The second track, which was the first single that they put out for this, Shame, Shame, Good Lord. I'm a Foo Fighters fan, and this is probably top 10 Foo Fighters song for me. It's a great song. It's got Taylor Hawkins. If you don't know about Taylor Hawkins, you ought to know.
That's a 90s reference.
Huh? Fork, spoon, knife, I don't know, whatever. The ghost notes that Taylor is doing throughout the song, spectacular. And Dave is just building up the tension. The chorus will get stuck in your head like a Bowie knife.
I really liked the contrast between the verses and the chorus. That and the absolutely sexy bass line. The bass line is sexy. My pants almost came off. But it's kind of like poppy and fun throughout that entire verse, and then you get this kind of still poppy but somber chorus, and this is where the strings really became prominent here. And there are lots of it. There's lots of strings, and you also get the lush female vocals in there too. It's a big album. It's really like just kind of large in scope and definitely in sound. And even when the guitars come in for like a little bit of a lead, they're kind of like a weepy guitar, like, you know, they're just kind of sad sounding. But again, you get that verse, it has this big hook. And then Medicine at Midnight, ooh, Bowie vibes.
It's the best song Bowie didn't write.
Yeah, it could have been on, you know, Let's Dance.
Yeah.
It really has that feel. Dave even croons like Bowie.
He does.
I was shocked, like, you know, because Rin was telling me, he's like, oh, dude, he croons like Bowie. I was like, is that really in his record? It is. It is. Dave croons like Bowie, and honestly, it's one of my favorite tracks on here. Nostalgia is definitely a big part of that, but they wrote a killer song.
The solo in Medicine at Midnight is a total Stevie Ray Vaughan Let's Dance solo. Just a Strat with single coils.
Bendy.
Very simple, very warm. Some people might call it a ripoff, but I call it a tribute.
Tribute is proper. I got little notes of like Billy Gibbons being kind of similar. It's a bluesy feel, and it feels like just an old, gritty, bluesy dude that's just hanging out with Dave Bowie.
A Texas dude on a 59 Strat.
And then when they want to get like kind of upbeat and aggressive, you know, kind of aggressive. I mean, this album does get terribly aggressive. Cloud Spotter and No Son of Mine definitely kind of supply that sort of punch there. Cloud Spotter actually has like almost a 70s funk feel to it, but big, massive 90s rock hook in the chorus, which you get two very separate generations there, but it kind of comes together really well in the song. And I think the drums sound a little bit different here. They actually kind of sound like a 70s funk, like drum sound. And then No Son of Mine, all of a sudden, just the big rock nuts just come out hanging. And, well, he was really good friends with Lemmy. This kind of screams like a Lemmy song and kind of like Reverend Horton Heat. It has that rockabilly swagger. The girls are doing some really cool vocals in the background.
It's got an open chord that just, to me, screams like Reverend Horton Heat without the hillbilly-ish thing.
Psychobilly.
Psychobilly, yeah. Lemmy would say himself, Motorhead was not a heavy metal band, but they were a hard rock band, and that's what you get out of the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, it's easily, like, I would say the most, like, aggressive song, though it's not, like, aggressive, like you in your face. It's like, yeah, we're here to party. Let's turn the party up a bit.
Maybe we'll shove each other.
Maybe a little bit. There might be some light shoving, and again, apologies.
Yeah, you're probably going to be hoarse from singing along.
A lot of the lyrics on here, there's like good verses, and then you got very repetitious choruses, which is kind of a Foo Fighter thing.
Yep.
You know, he's giving you the best that he can do here, I guess, in terms of a chorus. But he knows how to write a cool hook.
He is a hooky man.
Now, I mean, there is some stuff in here that is just very straightforward Foo Fighters. Waiting on a War, it's a good song. It's the acoustic kind of dreary...
Yeah, it's very dreary.
Ballad-ish?
Folky, kind of Paul Simon-y, Jim Croce.
I mean, I liked it, but I feel like he's written this song before.
Sure.
And I own that album because I own all the Foo Fighter stuff.
It's a good song.
It is a good song. Why not rebrand it?
Right.
But it kind of like takes away from the party feel.
Sure. Again, that's the one where you're refilling your punch glass.
Yeah. Yeah, make some like polite conversation. Someone brings up politics at the party, like, fucking this guy.
Hey, Dave's about to rock again.
No,
Let's pause that.
Can't hear you. I gotta go.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the album, I mean, all right, every party's got to die down.
Sure.
You know, you're stepping over drunk people. Someone threw up on your couch.
Yep.
and someone else takes over the aux.
Somebody stuck their dick in the mashed potatoes.
I mean, now it is a party. That probably happened around No Son of Mine. But then you get, you know, songs like Chasing Birds. This is the softest song on there.
Yep.
It's a ballad.
It's got a weird tropical feel. Like I want to slow dance on the deck of a large boat. And I smell coconuts. Somebody's got coconuts.
White people running on beaches and billowing white clothes.
I like it.
It's not bad. I mean, it kind of screams like, all right, a little bit of Beatles, sprinkling a little bit of maybe Moody Blues
Copacabana.
Or, you know, Pink Floyd Atmosphere.
Yeah.
But it's really, again, kind of repetitious. And it really just kind of takes the wind out of the sails because, I mean, you were having a lot of fun at this point.
Yeah.
Holding Poison before that was a nice kind of, you know, energetic fist-pumping song, a little bit of like AC/DC stomp. And I swear the riff in there sounds a lot like the Romantics. Walking in Your Sleep. I mean, I love that song. That's one of my favorite 80s songs. But I don't know, like at a certain point, like the chorus kind of started grating on me because, again, it gets kind of repetitious.
Yep.
But it also has an absolutely killer bridge on it where, again, the big rock nuts just come out. So the party is still alive at this point. But towards the end, I don't know. Like the last track, Love Dies Young, believe me, you're going to hear about love dying young a lot.
That phrase is repeated quite a bit.
But it's a weird contrast.
Yeah.
It opens up with, you know, kind of like a chuggy gallop.
Almost a Queen.
Almost. Or like early heavy metal. Like you could almost kind of hear that, like early Iron Maiden or something like that.
Right.
But then as it shifts into this kind of dance beat with this very 80s guitar melody on top, I couldn't help but to think of like Flock of Seagulls. And these two bands on the same bill, and like, there's going to be a lot of cocaine and fighting.
Feathered bangs.
Yes, and a lot of doing this. I can't see you guys.
Why do you only have eyeliner around one eye? That's weird.
It's a statement. It's art. Yes. I don't know, like something about this song, it just, I don't know, it feels odd. It feels like too much of a mishmash of like, you know, all the different influences that are on here. And sometimes those influences will collide. Sometimes they will work together brilliantly, like the title track and Shame Shame. All those 80s influences come together with just Foo Fighters energy. Sometimes they're like, man, I don't know where this song belongs, but I don't know, this party just kind of got weird and now I'm leaving. But overall, I think this was a fun album.
It's fun.
And I like the fact that it is very different from the last album. Last album was kind of dark. It was a little bit more serious. This one's definitely more uplifting. And I mean, if they were fucking writing this during COVID, yeah, you probably needed some positive energy being stuck inside.
And that might be why they did this. Just let's lighten up the mood.
Yeah. And you know what? The party was rolling pretty hard on this for a while. So, I mean, I got to commend them. They actually came through with a pretty solid party album. Yeah. Overall, I'm going to give this 3.5 stars. I wish the party rolled on a little bit longer because the songs that I loved, I fucking love. Those are going to be in rotation.
Yep.
But the songs that kind of took me out of it, I mean, I'll probably go back and listen to them just to see if I can pick up on something else I liked. But I don't know, like, it just felt like those moments in the party where the party kind of lulled a bit. But, you know, they wrote another killer album. They wrote another solid rock album. And, you know, honestly, Radio Rock doesn't seem like it has all the fun that the Foo Fighters still do. The Foo Fighters still sound like they're having fun writing these songs. And they wrote a whole bunch of cool different songs, and 10 albums in, and they still rock. So, yeah.
Yep. I'm going to also go with a 3.5. I've been a Dave Grohl fan since I was 13 years old. So a solid 10 years now. Maybe a little longer. We're not entirely sure. The calculator's wrong. Dave Grohl has nothing left to prove. He's proved it all before. He does this not for the money. He's got Nirvana money. He's got Foo Fighters money. He's doing this for shits and giggles. And I think he's having a good time. This is kind of a party record, but it's a very short party record, which it's only 36 minutes, 9 songs, which it could have been a little longer, but some of the songs that weren't as great as Shame Shame or No Son of Mine or Medicine at Midnight weren't filler, but I don't know. Maybe this was an EP that expanded and they wanted to put something out to cheer up people for COVID. It's possible. But Dave Grohl can fart on a snare drum, and you got my $12 or whatever you're charging Dave, because I want to hang out and barbecue with you, man. I want to crack some Bud Lights. I don't like Bud Light, but if that's what you drink, I'm drinking with you, Dave, because you're the man.
I paid $12 to barbecue with Dave.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
He probably has a really nice backyard.
Awesome grill.
Yeah, he's probably got one of them green egg things.
It's like as big as a truck.
Slow and low. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm hungry. Again, this is not metal. You're not going to find triple picking. You're not going to find double bass. You're not going to find dive bomb, whammy, tapping arpeggios. But you're going to find some solid rock songs, and you probably have a good time.
Yeah.
Foo Fighters seldomly fail to disappoint. And if you're into that thing, get into this thing.
So, if you enjoyed this review, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. And we have a giveaway going on. Once we hit 4,500 subs, we're going to give away a nice little batch of music, 1 vinyl and 3 CDs. We're getting close. I believe we crossed the 4,200 threshold not too long ago, so, I mean, it's coming, and we greatly appreciate all the love you guys are sending our way. And we can't wait to give that batch away. So, with that, I will bid you adieu, and we will catch you later.